Welcome back to Jen's Recaps. Today, I'm going to recap a 2022 action fantasy movie about a man who sold his soul to the devil in return for power to have his revenge. The title is in the comments. The film opens with a man named and delivering a series of blows to numerous armed attackers, taking them down one after another. Soon after, a special forces squad arrives at the scene, discovering the casualties caused by it. They approach him cautiously as he holds a lifeless body and aim their guns at him. Unexpectedly, and gives up, he is taken to the police commissioner, who questions his identity and his motives for the murders. N's voice, which sounds demonic, warns the commissioner about a looming war, the commissioner hinting that it might be under the influence of a demonic entity. The commissioner's hint solidifies when he asks in his name, and identifies himself as the devil. The commissioner then questions why he murdered those men from earlier in response and tells the commissioner his story, and then we go to a flashback of how the story began and explains that he accepted a position as a night guard at a native psychiatric facility in return for food and a place to stay. Upon his arrival, he encounters the head of the establishment, who goes by the name Boonnam. When Boonnam asks him why he came, he said he was interested in the night watchman job, and Boonnam hires him on the spot. Boonnam promptly shows him around without delving deep into explanation and assures him of the patient's usual calm demeanor. Boonnam then introduces him to his room here and meets DeWitt, a resident who looks after his mentally ill mother. She suddenly asks him if he could fight, but he doesn't answer. Then we see a flashback of memories of an overpowering a group of foes. We find out and is haunted by these memories, and then clarifies that he stopped after losing restraint. He vows to engage only when absolutely necessary. Later, and encounters a mysterious lady named. If you feel like watching this movie someday, the title is in the comments under the video. Janet in the corridor. She warns him that he picked to work as the night watchman at the wrong time of the month, when restless spirits emerge and terrorize all. But nevertheless, she is grateful he picked the job because they needed someone to protect them. At dinner, and joins Boonnam, who downplays the Institute's challenges due to its isolation, but mentions children going missing within the facility. Boonnam speculates about ghostly abductions since the kids vanish mysteriously. He further suggests the possible explanation for the missing kids is their being taken by ghosts. Janet, the woman he met at the corridor, then enters with her child, one of the remaining kids. Boonnam mentions her perpetual vigilance, fearing her son's potential abduction by the ghosts. Boonnam gives a pendant called the Hanuman, believed to shield wearers from ghosts, devils, and malevolent spirits. Oddly, the residents of the institution seem tight-lipped about the ghosts and vanishing children, suggesting a long-standing issue and perhaps a concealed dark truth from it. That night, as in patrols and roams the corridor, he hears the statue at the end of the corridor speaking, prophesying an imminent climax. This makes him have another flashback. He belonged to one underworld mafia, specializing in extortion. His elimination was ordered by the gang chief, but he overpowered his attackers. However, and is jolted awake from this haunting, recurring dream. In the morning the next day, a woman's grief over her lost child as she begs the police to try their best to find her son. But curiously, none point fingers at him for letting such a thing happen, even though he is the night watchman. He detects an odd scent and turns around. It's Janet's son, terrified, assuming his best friend Dylan was taken. But Janet reassures him of Dylan's safety and requests him to visit her later. During their meeting, Janet suggests she thinks the one behind all this is something or someone. This isn't just the content. It's my time, my heart, and honesty. If it's touched you even once, please subscribe and help me keep going. Named Mephisto, and argues that in order to stop the looming Armageddon, which involves the destruction of the four horsemen, and they could be anyone, and justifies his assault on the special forces. Disbelieving that it was telling him the whole reason he murdered his men was because he thought they could have been the horsemen, the detective asks and if he was the one behind the child abductions. Then we go back to N's flashback, as N conducts his night patrol within the facility, and hears a female voice consistently calling to him. As he goes down to the basement, he sees two weird-looking people kidnapping another child. He lunges in, and a fierce confrontation unfolds. As the battle rages, one of them manages to stab in, thereby wounding him critically, a blade lodged in his abdomen. The intruders escape. In the next scene, we find out the recent intruders are the supposed four horsemen. The four knights set things in motion and discuss their plan for a ritual for the earlier seized boy's spirit, revealing the need for two more children for the ritual to begin. Upon awakening, gravely hurt, Boon-nam and Janet tend to him. The injury is very critical, which suggests Anne's impending death. Yet, after enduring excruciating agony, he is miraculously healed by the deity called Hanuman. In exchange, Hanuman commissions Anne as his terrestrial vessel. Thus, Anne is reborn, now possessing immense power, granting him some otherworldly power that could defeat the horsemen and prevent the apocalypse. Boon-nam escorts into his chamber, showcasing his ritualistic instruments, and is suddenly engulfed in a memory of confronting his gang when he decided he wanted to sever ties with the gang. The gang's leader didn't agree, since he knew Anne's value to the gang, so he ordered his men to subdue Anne, but Anne defeated them all. Boon-nam, knowing that Hanuman was the one that brought Anne back to life, warns him that Hanuman seeks a foothold in the mortal realm and might endeavor to dominate Anne's body. However, Anne dismisses this, securing the institution's entrance, and is approached by Janet's son, inquiring about Dylan, the child that was recently kidnapped by the knights. The boy pleads for Anne's protection. As Anne musters his resolve, Hanuman, the demon resurrected, and starts to whisper to Anne, compelling him to eliminate any obstacle to reaching the knights, even if innocent, and endeavors to shut out the voice, assuring the boy of his assistance. However, Hanuman's commands escalate, insisting on eradicating even the guiltless to pursue the knights. By night, the knights attempt to seize Benizin, Janet's child. They're caught off guard by Anne's interception. A knight overpowers Anne, rendering him unconscious. He awakens in Hanuman's shadowy realm. With a touch to his brow, Hanuman revives him. As Anne's fervent scream reverberates, it disorients the knights. A subsequent night onslaught ensues, aiming to finish Anne. However, Anne's newfound vigor allows him to overpower and kill one knight. He then pursues the remaining knights, but collapses, writhing in agony. Hanuman's gift of strength, while potent, is double-edged. Each exertion saps Anne's vitality, concurrently augmenting Hanuman's might. Hanuman's essence gradually merges with Anne, scheming to incarnate through Anne's vessel. Relaying these events to the detective, Anne is met with skepticism, but the officer urges him to continue. The subsequent day, Janet awakens to her son's abduction, her anguish palpable. Concurrently, Mephisto strategizes the final child's abduction to commence the ritual. As night descends, Mephisto dispatches the horsemen for their last mission, but they encounter Anne's fierce opposition. Engaging a knight in combat, a tumultuous skirmish ensues. Now, Anne's power has surged, allowing him to combat all the horsemen effectively. They retreat swiftly to the underground. Following another vanquishing, Hanuman consumes more of Anne's essence, aware that his time is dwindling, and realizes he must act swiftly to liberate the children. Meanwhile, the knights inform their chief, Samuel, about the recent events and suggest they expedite the ritual with the current captives, and directs the institution's inhabitants to secure themselves while he embarks on his rescue mission. He deactivates the electricity to ensnare the knights and delves into their subterranean hideout. Without electricity, the ritual is halted. The knights, along with their formidable leader, Samuel, resolve to confront and annihilate him. When they confront him, a fierce conflict erupts. And subdues the knights, but Samuel's prowess overshadows Anne's. Desperate, and beckons Hanuman for aid, but his plea is rebuffed because he has evaded death again. In a sacrificial move, and plunges a knife into himself, seeking to empower Hanuman further. While never consented to a soul exchange, this was Bunam's design, a strategy to both save and curse Sin, compelling him to safeguard the institution and children. Yet now, unwillingly offers his eternal soul to Hanuman. In exchange, Hanuman equips him with a divine staff and allows him another return, cautioning that, upon completing his mission, his soul and consciousness would be subsumed. Simultaneously, the institution's residents arm themselves to aid in. They confront Samuel, who retreats to the underground. The knights, plotting to sever Anne's divine link, turn to dark sorcery. They macabrely extract the chin from a deceased pregnant woman, converting it to a potent oil as a weapon against him. Reuniting with Janet, she informs him of the spirit of Santa Maria, a guardian in these tumultuous times. Suddenly guided by this spirit, and is led to the ritual location. Venturing through the open basement door and navigating a passage, he confronts the knights escorting the children. Samuel obstructs him, instigating another clash. Wielding his staff, and lands a blow on a knight. Samuel retaliates by hurling the dark oil at him, severely weakening his divine gifts. After an intense struggle, and slits Samuel's throat, ending his reign of terror. Exhausted, and collapses, but Janet and the others intervene in time to rescue him. In the current moment, the detective commends him for sharing such a heart-wrenching tale, seemingly holding him accountable for Mephisto's getaway in a tongue-in-cheek manner. Hawever, the most shocking revelation is that Mephisto had been masquerading as the detective the entire time. But now entirely dominated by Hanuman's influence, dispatches Mephisto, identifying him by his unique aroma, thus fulfilling his pact with the divine entity. Subsequently, and departs from the institute. As he does, Hanuman gains full control, revealing his authentic essence. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button